What's up YouTube? Slim Reptiles here, and today I'm going to bring another video. This is going to be the 5 most important things for leopard geckos, at least in my opinion. And I'm going to keep these videos pretty short, so I'm going to start now. First thing I believe is controlled heat. Now what I mean by that is we have heat tape. I don't know if you can, you can kind of see it, which is right here. And that gets hot depending on what you set it for. Now if you plug it directly in the wall, that is going to literally be 110, 120, 130, 100, up to 150 degrees literally of heat, which you do not want for your gecko. So what you need to do is buy a thermostat. Thermostat will control the heat, will make sure it doesn't get too hot, it will make sure it stays the right temperature all throughout the day. As you can see, there's like different temperatures for racks. Each rack's gonna be different. So the temp's gonna go down a little bit, but it'll rise back up with once it gets a little bit too cool from what you set it. These ones and Freedom Breeder ones in particular, you can actually set the degree different. So if you want it 91.7 degrees all the time, you can set it there, set it to scale to 0, and it will stay there the whole entire time. I have like 2 or 3 degrees, that way it's not using power constantly. Usually one of these controls 1 rack. I bought the ones that control 2 racks each. They control 2 racks as long as you have the same wattage heat tape. So for example, there's more wattage in this heat tape for these bigger tubs than there is for the smaller tubs. So I have the top one is controlling the 2 gecko racks, and the bottom one is controlling the ball python racks, since they're both the same. No issues. There's 2 separate probes, so everything works pretty nice. They were pretty expensive, but they're definitely worth it. Like I said, you don't want to get too hot. You also want a good gradient of hot and cold. So you want like a, not cold, but I guess room temperature side. You got the heat side. One good thing I recommend buying, so you can control your temperatures even with the thermostat. One thing I highly recommend is getting something like this, which is just a temperature gun and has a laser, as you can see, and it reads the temperature no matter where it is. So in the room right now, it's pretty hot. It's hot outside. It's about 76 in the room. My floor level is going to be higher up in the ceiling. 84.5. It's a little bit warmer than I would like it to be, but it's hot as hell outside. So, cool side on here is, if I can focus, 81.8. The hot side's 82.3. It's usually hotter. It's just I had the tub open away from the heat. It's usually around 86 to 88. So yeah, that's pretty much it for number 1, guys. The controlled heat. Yeah, make sure it's controlled. Make sure you get thermostats. You don't want heat pads or heat tape, without any of that. You're gonna burn your animal. Even worse, maybe killing the animal, setting your house on fire. Anything's possible. Right here, it's just a tangerine albino leopard gecko I produced this year so far. It's just being my little model for this video. Alright, number 2 is going to be varied diet. Now, diet meaning food. I use mealworms as a staple diet, as you can see in there. There's mealworms in here. If my finger get out of the way. Mealworms in there, mealworm beetles in there. So that's what I usually feed. I fill this thing up. This is actually kind of dry. I gotta put some more in there soon. So I feed them mealworms, but as long as mealworms, I feed crickets, which I don't have, but I'm pretty sure we all know what crickets are at this point. I also feed superworms, as you can see here. They're just like pretty much bigger mealworms. And I also feed dubio roaches. Breed them, you can see there's a bunch of them in here. They're a little bit too tall for me to reach, but there's a bunch. Feed them, they're really good for them as well. And I pretty much feed any kind of bug they can eat that I can get my hands on. I just try to switch it up as much as possible. But like I said, mealworms is an everyday, always in the cage kind of situation. It's really important to have a varied diet so they get all the different calcium, vitamins, minerals, and stuff they need. A lot of bugs are heavy on one kind of thing, whether it be fat, vitamins, calcium, so you don't want to overdose your gecko with you know, just a certain type of nutrient. You want to get a balance. So that's why I think it's really important to have, you know, a varied diet, not just mealworms or just crickets or just superworms. Number 3 is going to be vitamin and calcium. I actually have to refill my dishes soon. It's not that much, but I think it's super important to get. Here I have the vitamin and calcium mix. I think I think both brands are Zoomed. I think I just mix them together, put the whole container in, put the whole container, mix it up. Now it's gonna help them grow not fast, but you know, grow natural as much as they're supposed to grow. Gives them the extra vitamins and calcium that they might mix with the food. Like I said, if you have a varied diet, going back to the last point, you don't want to have to worry too much about the vitamin and calcium. It might not be necessarily as important, as well as if you gut load your worms and bugs like I do. But I still put them in the mealworm dish. You can either put them in the mealworm dish, or you can do like a separate container, kind of like this water bowl. Just put the powder in there, and they'll just eat that directly when needed. It's especially important for breeding adults. If you're breeding, they really need that extra calcium and vitamins to, you know, grow the eggs and lay healthy, fertile eggs. Super important. Even after they breed, it's just as important to get their weight back on and get all those vitamins and stuff that they you know, expelled while producing the eggs for you. All right, so number 4 is going to be substrate. Now this is a really I guess controversial topic, but I'm gonna go with just some options and if they're good or bad. What I like to do is paper towel. It absorbs the urate, it absorbs any water that might spill out of the bowl. Literally after I clean it, just take paper towels out, make sure the actual tub itself is clean. If that's clean enough, I just put paper towel back in, put the water bowl and mealworm dish back in, call it a day, done. It's super simple. Granted, you gotta buy paper towels all the time, depending on how many animals you have, but they're not that expensive. I actually get these ones are perfect for me. I think it's the Bounty brand, and they come just the size. I don't gotta cut nothing, just rip it apart. Kind of show you what I do here. Grab this, and I just throw it on top, and done. You can spray it down to hold it down better, give them a little bit of humidity. I just find it give too much humidity for my tubs, personally. The other substrate you could do is like that. Oh, well, there's water in this, but so I was giving a gecko a bath. But what we could also do is just do plain, just do nothing. Just do nothing in the bottom. I don't like doing that because the tubs get dirty, messy. You gotta disinfect them and clean them and everything. But it's the safest way because they can't ingest it or anything like that. You don't gotta worry about impaction or anything, same as paper towel. Now I'll say the third other option that I would recommend is this stuff, which is called, get this out of the way, it is called Repti Carpet, and it's literally just like felt. You could probably, if you know stuff about materials and fabrics, you can probably just go to like a Michael's or something and buy a fabric, cut it yourself, or get it cut to size that you need. That's what I had in my glass tanks. I just got the rack, so I have a bunch of these left over. I tried cutting one and, you know, fitting it, and it fit perfect in here. It's just, I can't cut straight. I don't got time to be doing that, so I just stick with the paper towels. But this is just as good. This is a little bit more work. You have to, what I did was, I literally have a vacuum, and I would just vacuum with the hose the whole thing, get all the poop out. Every once a month or so, I would toss them in a wash machine or outside with a hose and some soap and, you know, clean them out really well. But other than that, it's really simple. Geckos can't eat it. The geckos enjoy it. It's like a comfy texture. I highly recommend it. Now, the one thing I have tried when I got these racks, because I noticed the humidity problem at first when I was wetting the paper towels, I decided to go, I didn't want to do sand, because I heard so much negative things about sand. I decided to try to go with this Desert Blend ground English walnut shells. I'm assuming it's better than sand for your animals because it's not actual sand, it's just walnut shells. So if they ingest it, it's really small grains. As you can see here in the tub, this is what it is. If you see, it kind of sticks on my hands, and my hands aren't even wet. So it's super sticky. It's really messy. When I used it, I had a water bowl, and this stuff just ended up getting in the water bowl, whether it's just be from stuck on the gecko's skin or feet or whatever it is, mouth. So that was one negative about it. I really didn't like this stuff at all. I know some people use it and they love it. Good for them. If you like it, go ahead and use it. I personally didn't. I also saw one of my adult geckos just straight up scoop it and eat it like calcium. Which, like I said, is probably alright, but I'd rather avoid any kind of impaction. Another reason why is I like misting my tubs when I notice geckos are shedding. So this has zero humidity. It will literally take all humidity out. But when you add water and try to get it wet, it literally turns into this mess that just clumps up. And that's happened to my geckos. As you can see, I'm trying my best to get it off my hands. And it's still on there. Super sticky. It was getting stuck to my gecko's feet. And after literally 24 hours, I had to give it a bath and kind of scrape it off my gecko's feet. Because the water bowl dumped over a tiny bit and he had it crawling in it and whatnot. I also had him poop and pee like they usually do in it. And it was a pain in the butt to clean and get out. It was just a big mess. Like, I kind of regret even putting this in the tub, because now I gotta clean this tub and it's gonna be a pain in the butt, especially now that it's wet. So I would highly not recommend that. I would stay away from sand. Like I said, I would go with anything that's like paper towel. I even use the Repti carpet. Here, I'll actually show you guys a good example. So I use a Repti carpet for my bearded dragons. There's one little guy. And as you can see, it needs clean, so I gotta vacuum it out. It'll be real easy. Just vacuum all that poop out. And then here, I'm just going to bring it outside with the hose, get it wet, kind of, I might grab like an old sponge or a new sponge that I only use for reptiles and scrub it down a little bit, and it'll come out brand new. Not brand new, after, I would say, probably after a year of use. I'd probably switch them every once a year just to get new ones. It's so cheap. I think for 10-gallon size like this, I think it's $10, I think. You might be able to find them on sale. 20-gallon I think was $12. 40-gallon was like $20. Super cheap. Like I said, if it gets too dirty, just toss that shit. Get a new one. It's not that expensive. It's just like paper towels. You spend $10 for paper towels after a couple. You know, paper towels aren't cheap really. 20 bucks for like 8 of them or something like that, unless you find them on sale. So it's really worth it. I'm actually gonna take this out because I don't know, I might do something with it. So yeah, guys. Sum it up so far, so I feel like this video is longer. I wanted to keep it less than 10 minutes since we're already at 13 minutes before editing. But we have the controlled heat, we got the varied diet, we got the vitamins and calcium, we got the substrate out of the way. Now the last and final, well, for the 5 things, the last and final thing is fresh water. So what I do is I do these little deli cups. They're really tiny for my geckos. And the babies can't knock them over. Adults can knock them over. So I buy something like these. It's just a bowl that's made for like rabbits or hamsters or something. That put this in it like that for the adults. That way they can't really knock it over. It stays in there. The best thing is when this gets, use it, you fill it up, and it's, you have to refill it the next day, and you start to see that crud start to go on it and everything. If you really want to, you can clean it. What I do is I just toss it right in the garbage. Done. I think that thing cost me a penny for 10 of them. Done. Put a new one in. And that's why it's so easy. Some people have water bowls and they don't get fresh water every day because they gotta clean them all and get all the gookiness and grossness out of it. I just use plastic. Works really well. I use deli cups for, I know this is a gecko video, but I'll show you real quick. I use deli cups for the snake tanks as well if I don't get bit here. It's just easy. You can toss them. You can clean them once in a while if you want to. You can do whatever you like with them. But it's super important for them to have fresh water every day, at least every other day. I try doing every day. Along with water, like water bowls, I also get something like this, which is just like a water sprayer. I have like a normal water bottle thing that sprays. And you just like spray it on the side of the tub, and then you lick it up from there. If you notice your baby or gecko isn't going to the water bowl, just because they're from the desert doesn't mean that they don't need water. They still drink water like every other living thing, and I notice they drink a lot, more than you would think. So that's pretty much gonna be it for the 5 most important things I think for leopard gecko care. There's one thing I'm gonna add. It's gonna be like a bonus, I guess, a little bonus thing. Is humidity. Humidity is super important for shedding. A lot of times they'll get stuck shed on their little feetsies. They'll get stuck shed around the eyes and their head or on their tail. So you want to make sure the tub or tank is humid. A lot of people that have glass tanks, they have a humid hide. It's just a hide with a paper towel or moss or something to keep it humid so they can go in there when they're about to shed or whenever they want it to be humid. You don't want to keep them too humid all the time because then you'll give them RIs and they'll have scale problems and stuff. So you want to make sure you're keeping the humidity at the right level. Now, like I said, you can have the humid hide. In small tubs like this, I don't need the humid hide because I can control the humidity pretty well. As you see, I was using that one gecko, so I have to clean later today, but we know how it is. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That's the 5 most important things I think for leopard gecko care. If there's anything you want to add, anything you deserve to be put on the list rather than someone else, something else, God, I can't talk. Just let me know down in the comments. Please leave a like and a subscribe. It really helped me out, and I appreciate you guys.